Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is Music Lyrics Explained 5. Bobby Pickett, Monster Mash. All right, now Monster Mash is a very famous, classic Halloween party song. It's not the latest or the coolest, but it is one that if you're at enough Halloween parties, it almost always gets played. It's a classic song. It always comes back every year. But anyway, let's look at it. So the name of the song is the Monster Mash. All right, now even just the title, mash can have two meanings. It's suitable because it almost could have a double meaning here. Mash could mean to crush something, and monsters often crush things. But it could also be a mixture of things. And here I think it's a mixture of all these characters from horror movies are actually in this song. So it could play on both here if you say a monster mash. So it's a mixture of monsters. Okay, so anyway, let's get into it. Let's start the lyrics, then I'll explain it. All right. I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. All right, if you obviously this is being sung almost like from Dr. Frankenstein, and he was in the laboratory. Remember, Dr. Frankenstein made Frankenstein in the lab, and his eyes beheld. Well, beheld is the past tense of to behold, to see something. An eerie sight. Eerie means very strange or mysterious or scary. So let's continue. I was working in the lab late one night when my eyes beheld an eerie sight. From my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise. All right, now my monster from his slab. A slab is this: a large flat surface where a dead body is laid on. So remember, this is supposed to be Frankenstein. Remember, Frankenstein was like a dead body. So, all right, let's continue. So that's just what he says here. For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise, and then this is the chorus that gets repeated throughout the song. He did the mash, he did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. Well, remember, if you say something is a smash, it means it's a big hit. He did the mash. It caught on in a flash. Caught on means if something catches on in a flash, it catches on very quickly. He did the mash. He did the monster mash. And this is the type of song, too, that if you're at a Halloween party, and even if you're not a good dancer, sometimes you can get up and dance to this song. You pretend like you're Frankenstein and move like Frankenstein, kind of like this. So, he did the mash. He did the monster mash. So that's what you could do in a song like this. So it's actually a pretty fun song if you actually check it out and listen to the whole song complete. All right, let me continue. From the laboratory in the castle east to my master bedroom where the vampires feast. Okay, so I guess it's a big castle. Master bedroom, of course, that's the main bedroom that's always in a house. Where my vampires feast. Feast, of course, they have a large meal. Where they feast. Okay, good. The ghouls all came from their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrodes. All right, so ghouls, we say ghouls is an imaginary creature from stories that eat people. All right, so the ghouls all came from their humble abodes. Humble abodes, a way of saying your home is not fancy. We always say this is a humble abode, so they don't live in high class. All right, from their humble abodes. Yes, so the monster mash, right, good. Ghouls all came for their humble abodes to get a jolt from my electrode. Well, jolt means a shock. Remember in the old Frankenstein movies, he used to have those little bolts coming out of his neck. That's where the electrode would be. The electrode here, of course, this is a conductor that one uses to make electrical contact to a circuit. So the original Frankenstein, he came to life through electricity, and he used to have those little bolts sticking out of his neck. So that's what that's about. Okay, let's continue. The zombies were all having fun. The party had just begun. Well, of course, if you say zombies, well, we know zombies in all the movies that they have now. That's a dead person in some religions, especially in voodoo, that comes back to life, and they look and behave like they're still alive. Those are zombies. So you got everything at this party. So, the zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. All right, the guests included Wolfman, Dracula and his son. So all the normal horror people are here. Okay. The scene was a rockin'. All were digging the sounds. Igor on chains, backed by his bang hounds. Okay, so the scene meaning the music scene or the rock scene. They were rocking. Here, remember, if we say to rock in this sense, it means to play or dance to rock music. Digging, well, especially like in the 1960s and 70s, dig was a common word. It meant that you like something. It's a word that the hippies used to like to use. Yeah, I dig it. So that's why it's in the song. The scene was a rockin', all were digging the sounds, so they thought the sounds were cool. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hounds. All right, bay. Bay means to howl. So the hounds is the dogs are howling. Ow, 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 ow. So they were doing that during the song. They were howling, by his baying hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive, right? With their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker 5. Okay, so this is like another rock band. Crypt is an underground burial chamber or room. So they usually show it by like skeletons or something. So the Crypt Kicker 5, it's supposed to be a joke. Of course, not a real band. Yeah, so, and then of course the chorus goes, they did the mash, they did the monster mash. It was a graveyard smash of the mash. All right, so let's continue with the rest of the song. Out from his coffin, Drac's voice did ring. Seems he was troubled by just one thing. So this is Dracula. Out of his coffin. He came out of his coffin. Drax, they just shorten it for Dracula. His voice did ring. His voice sounded here. So remember here, if we say to ring, if something rings, it makes a continuous loud sound. It did ring. Seeing he was troubled or worried by just one thing, opened the lid and shook his fist and said, whatever happened to my Transylvania twist? So it's making a joke, like maybe all these monsters had songs. Maybe a twist is a song that where you twist your body like this. So he said, whatever happened to my Transylvania twist? So maybe that used to be the cool song among the monsters. Now it's the Monster Mash. It's like Frankenstein's song. So that's what they're saying here. So opened the lid and shook his fist and said, whatever happened to my Transylvania twist? And of course they sing it in a little bit of like a Dracula accent, an Eastern European Transylvania accent. All right, good. And then of course it goes back to the chorus, and they did the mash, they did the monster mash. That continues again. And then it goes to the next part. Now everything's cool. Drac's a part of the band. And my Monster Man is the hit of the land. So I guess Dracula got into the party. He doesn't care that his song isn't the main song anymore. He's just playing along, so he's part of the band. He's singing with them. And my Monster Man, of course this is Frankenstein, because Dr. Frankenstein is talking, is the hit of the land. Well, the most popular one of the land. For you, the living, the people alive, this mash was meant too. So, you're invited too, you living people. When you get to my door, tell them Boris sent you. Yeah. So actually, sometimes he used the name Bobby Boris Pickett. And if you remember back at that time in the old horror movies, one of the most famous directors of the horror movies was Boris Karloff. So that's why I probably used that name as well. All right, good. Yes, all right. And then, of course, it just really comes to the end here, basically, they say. They say, wow, and then it just, starts going to the end here. Wow, Monster Mash, wow. Yes, easy Igor, you impetuous young boy. Well, here, of course, if we say impetuous, someone who's impetuous does things quickly and without thinking about what will happen. That's what we say, you impetuous young boy. Monster Mash, wow, Monster Mash, wow. And that's the end of the song. So, if you ever get invited to a Halloween party in the U.S., Halloween is mostly an American a holiday anyway, they might play this song, and this is what this song means. It's actually a song about a bunch of monsters all getting together and, playing music together and dancing together. Well, anyway, I hope you got it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.